Hey everyone, this is Dominic. Wanted to bring you some good information again. As always, I want to keep bringing to the forefront about credit, about finances. And this particular subject I'm going to talk to you about here in a moment, very near and dear to my heart because I understand it in a very real way, and I'm very passionate. My wife and I are very passionate about this particular subject, and that being the subject of health. Okay, really focusing in on health when it comes to finances and credit, but more so on the finances side of things today. Okay, this is a major stressor in our communities. Matter of fact, for the individual, for the family, and for the community. And if we can get a grasp and a hold on this, then we can help change communities. And that's why our nonprofit chief is structured around the H being a major portion of that, which is health. Okay. But this article was put out by Yahoo Finance just yesterday, and it talks about the very thing that most Americans are significantly stressed about money. And so I'm going to touch base on this article, read through a few things, talk a little bit more about it as well, because we want to see change in this area. We want to help bring about change in this area. And so let's dive into it here, okay? It says that in a recent 2023 bank rate survey that 52% of Americans or U.S. adults, okay, said that money has a negative impact on their mental health, which obviously causes stress, anxiety, depression, and many things. So that's a major impact. That's little more than one in every two. Another thing that says that 82% of U.S. adults who say money negatively impacts their mental health said it was caused by economic factors. They, of course, emergency savings, not having emergency savings, that obviously is a major impact on their mental health because they're worried if something goes wrong, they're not going to be taken care of. That's 56% of those surveyed that emergency savings is a big issue. Here's one I want to talk a little bit about because I probably disagree with this, and I'll tell you why in a moment. But it says that women are more likely to experience financial stress than men. 56% of women said money has a negative impact on their mental health compared to 47% of men. I don't necessarily agree with this, and I'll tell you why. As men, I think we do a better job in not talking about it, and I say a better job in just the sense of the survey. We are, I think, less likely to admit to those things as men because we feel like we shouldn't. Maybe we carry our stress differently, but the reality is we are just as stressed, and it does cause, I think, a mental breakdown in a lot of ways. We become less present in our families, in our marriages, because we're holding on to stress that we're just not talking about. And so I believe that number is the same or higher. And again, it's just men are not talking about this, and we have to get rid of this stigma, especially as in our society, being a man, we feel the weight of taking care of the family, taking care of our own, providing as a provider. That's what we want to do. And so when we're stressed about money, we tend to hide those things. And so this is definitely something that I want to help men overcome. I know that I have a tendency to do that. I've done that in the past. Can be extremely stressed, but I don't want my family to feel that stress, so I take on more of it, which then, of course, impacts my work ethic, my everything, because you have this weight you're trying to push through, trying to make things happen. And sometimes just having those conversations, being real, being open, being transparent can bring about change and bring about help that you may need. We don't want help, right? We got to figure things out on our own and do things. And so for me, I believe that number is higher, and I want that stigma to change big time. Okay. One of the things that they say in this as well is that those who said that money is a stressor, 29% worry about it every single day. Means essentially 3 out of 10 are worried about money every day. And I can't imagine the amount of stress, the amount of just anxiety or depression that can bring on someone when every day that becomes a worry. Low-income households are more likely to say money has a negative impact on their mental health. 59% of those household incomes of less than $50,000 said they worry about it. And this is actually an increase by 11% from last year. So that number has gone up from 48% now to 59%. And so this again is another issue that we need to talk about. We need to help work through, come up with ways we can bring more money into households or learn to live in that means. I want to say it was Gary Vee that spoke on this, where that he knows people who make, $40,000 but live a $38,000 lifestyle and are extremely happy, extremely joyful. And he knows people who make, $3 million a year but live a $4.9 million lifestyle. And they're dealing with the same stressors and anxiety and different things that someone, with a low income could be living. And so it's not always about the making more money. Being successful doesn't mean that you make $1 million a year or $100,000 a year or whatever those numbers are. It's about learning to live within our means, finding joy in the everyday, in everyday life and in everyday moments of life. We can help do those things. We find ways to be able to do that. Another one, it talked about different generations. It says middle generations are more stressed about money over younger or older generations. So 60% of Generation X, those in Generation X, between the ages of 43 to 58, find themselves more stressed about money. 55% of millennials, 27 to 42, are reporting that money is a source of stress. So we're finding that 27 to 58 range is where a lot of stress, those middle ages, that you're starting to see a lot of stress when it's centered around money. And so obviously this becomes a major, and it goes on to talk about health, but this becomes a major health issue within the United States for certain, and I'm sure within other countries. But this is something that we're really truly focused on in helping individuals, again, because the individuals are part of a family or families, right? And which really truly helps our communities, because if we can, this stress breaks down the body, the anxiety breaks down the body, the depression breaks down the body. And so we want to bring about that holistic side of things and get back to being able to be free within the finances, and that's finding and helping individuals and families learn how to live within their means and do different things. And so it's just a great article, again, to keep in mind when you find yourself in these areas. If you're stressed about money, if you're feeling anxiety or depression about, reach out. We have to get rid of this stigmatism or these fears that it makes you less than, it makes you different. No, it's, you might need help in a certain area, but it doesn't make you any less than anyone else. It's just you need help figuring this out. You weren't raised in a family that maybe talked about it, or maybe you were, but it just wasn't your focus in the moment. But now you want to get focused on it. You want to learn, you want to grow. And now's the time to do that. If you hear this and you feel that way, then reach out for help. It's okay. I've been there, okay? We've been there. And sometimes you find yourself at times, going up and down and up and down, and it's okay. We're going to learn how, because one of the greatest things I ever heard, we have this idea that we just want to live life level. We just want to go through life not having the ups and the downs and the ups and the downs. And one of the best things I ever heard, it really truly changed my perspective, was they said, can you imagine if you look at a life monitor, you have somebody that's hooked up to a monitor and their heartbeat, and all you see is up and down and up and down, and it's like, but when you see a flat line, right? If you've seen a straight line, that represents something significant, and it typically represents death. You see, life isn't made to be lived like this. It's a misconception. We're made to live lives in the highs and the lows, and you're going to experience that throughout life. And I'm telling you, if you're younger than me, I don't care if you're older than me, if you hear what I'm saying, it's okay to live, have ups and downs. You learn and you grow along the way. You're going to go in seasons where there's highs, you're going to have seasons where there are lows, but always be prepared to and understand that you may be in this season and you may find a season down here. And if you're down here, just know that you're going to have another season where it's going to be up. So don't ever lose hope. Always know that there's a new season around the corner. There's a new season on the horizon. Okay. And so my goal is to help motivate you, to help transform you, and different areas and different directions. And so again, I hope that this information blesses you. I will continue to bring more information, and I'm so excited for your journey. And please reach out if you need help, if you have questions, and let's get you to the place that you deserve to be in. Coach D out. I love you guys. I'll keep bringing information. Be blessed.